Good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever you are in this world. This is another edition of Darkness in Dublin, Unliving World of Darkness, uh, Vampire Edition. We are having the primogen of Clan Nosferatu meet a new incoming member of the clan in the city. Uh, when receiving the message, he would instruct the individual to meet him at a. It is a part of the Warrens level. It's a discarded cistern that still has catwalks and ladders running around it, that sort of thing, but it's primarily used as a general meeting place. The middle of the cistern has a big conference table, and there's chairs and everything. It's typically not needed unless there's a planned meeting of some kind. So go ahead and intro your character, and I'll have Michael walk in.
Yeah, entering the sewers, looks like a normal human, but getting in there and, like, his mask will fade and his, well, appearance somewhat, natural appearance, kind of, will be noticeable. He has a hat on, he has goggles, his face is wrapped in, bandages, pretty much. He looks kind of like someone going to a cosplay, or as a cosplay of the Invisible Man from the I think it's 40s it's from. Anyways, he's wearing a scarf of some kind, a nice jacket, very nice suit underneath, quite well dressed, and has leather gloves on. And he'll just be around the meeting room, just standing around with his, just looking around, just with his back to a wall. Well, he's actually probably sitting down at this point. And, yeah, he's just sitting here waiting.
All right, so you'll hear some rumbling on the catwalk. Sounds like something heavy is moving around. Off to the side. It's not the catwalks that surround the cistern, not the main area. And then you'll see a man in a lab coat walk out. The lab coat seems to be pristine white somehow. Like, he takes great pains with it, apparently. The rest of his clothing looks like what you would assume a college professor's stereotype would look like. Tweed blazer, suspenders, tan shirt, brown corduroy slacks, shoes. Shoes are meant for the sewers, so they're like probably Doc Martens, I would say. Something rough, something steel-toed. He does not cover himself at all, which for most Nosferatu would be a little unusual, since some tend to wear a mask in case their appearances are seen. The only thing that he's wearing is a pair of reading glasses, and he is walking with what looks like a satchel on his back. He will walk over and look you up and down and say, "You keep the bandages on even when you're down here?"
He gets up and just says, yes, it's, well, honestly, it's a lot easier to explain, mind you. If the mask is by some miracle breached, well, I can say that I have either been in a terrible accident, or I'm cosplaying, or something the kids do these days, apparently.
Of course.
Makes certain things a lot easier, and especially in the layers of society I tend to frequent.
Mm-hmm. I apologize. That was a rude thing to say upon meeting you. After all, our esteemed prince and his childer and several others choose to wear their masks, even amongst family. It's, for some of them, it's become a part of who they are, and I forget.
I can remove it if you wish.
No, it's not necessary.
Fair enough.
I came up in New York in like the hundreds, and I'm always been around clan members that have bared their faces, so it takes a little getting used to in this modern age, you could say. So allow me to introduce myself. Michael Brightman, doctor, PhD, MD, Masters of Science, Bachelors of Science, so on and so forth. Primogen of Clan Nosferatu, currently a visiting consulting genetic specialist with the Trinity College, as well as the head of the primate department and sitting on the board of the Dublin Zoo. And you are?
Theodore Williams. I'm an Ancilla. And it's a very good pleasure to meet you, Primogen.
Have you had any dealings with any members of the Camarilla in the city so far?
Well, I met Amalia, I believe her name is.
Ah, yes, Amalia. She's a friendly sort. Very good with technical stuff. My technical expertise is currently limited to my lab equipment.
Understandable.
What do you do?
Oh, I do many things. Diplomacy, if needed. Surveillance. And performance. Quite a lot of that.
That's good. That's good. You broaden yourself. I do try my best to keep my hand in etiquette and protocol as well. I don't know if anybody's told you this recently, but the world is actually going to end soon unless we can stop it. So, okay, good.
It's not state secrets. It's, well, sort of thing, especially when Clan Tremere is involved. Well, let's just say that
Don't remind me.
those rumors tend to spread around Vienna. That is my city of birth.
I see. That's unfortunate. He will rub his forehead and he'll say, and reminding me of Clan Tremere. To be in a city with so many Tremere that most of them have. I've had experiences both positive and negative with Clan Tremere. If Lord Stalheim offers to do anything for you, tell him no, because he will demand a life or blood boon for it.
I see.
Yeah. There's a member of Clan Tremere that is considered family. Her name is Miss Dina Summers. She doesn't come down here, doesn't agree with her sensibilities, but she is considered family. She has clan friendship, Nosferatu, just so you know. There are some non-Nosferatu currently in the Warrens. You'll meet Esme. She is a interesting individual, and she has been adopted by the prince. There is also a gargoyle somewhere in the sewers called 13. Please don't stare. She is a very wonderful and sweet individual. So you said you were brought up in Vienna. Who is your sire?
Oh, the proverbial elephant in the room.
You don't know who your sire is?
Oh, I do. Ernst Hallmann.
I see.
That, just for reference, I have infamous sires, so yeah.
What's he infamous for? Is he Sabat, or is he just...
Oh, he's just a vindictive son of a bitch, really.
Oh, okay. You said his name was Ernst?
Ernst.
Ernst. Oh, dear, Ernst. Yes. I've heard of him coming up in the United States. His name is passed. I should probably introduce... I don't know if you know your lineage. I was taught my lineage at birth. I am the child of Alex Shirks, who is the child of Maximilian Schreck, who is the child of Cock Robin, and so on and so forth down to Epsmillard.
And I haven't drawn up a line, but he will.
It's okay. It's okay, because unless you're sired by a traditional Nosferatu, they don't really teach you your lineage.
He would know.
Yeah. Oh, interesting. All you can do is to do you're an Ancilla, so you should have risen out of your sire's shadow to some extent.
Hopefully.
Yes, hopefully. I don't believe you've...
Well, it's
believe there's many in the clan that have... sorry, go ahead.
It's more to the case of I spent the first 80 years underground before I was able to leave.
80
This,
years.
yes, he is a controlling man. But more and more, I've been able to make my way, make my own way, after God only knows how long.
And I thought my sire was controlling. He only kept me underground for 20. But in those 20 years, I'd been taught everything I needed to know and had been introduced to the prince and other members of the court. I was just not really. I wasn't allowed a lot of freedom when I was on the surface. Being being the child of a Justicar, you tend to have control issues.
Quite so. Well, for my work, I have already procured a minor boon from Clan Toreador, if that is of any consequence.
Which Toreador?
The clan.
Oh, interesting. I didn't think. Have you recorded it with the harpy?
Yes.
And it didn't get lost.
No, it has been recorded and agreed to by Miss Fleur, the Toreador primogen.
I bet Delano shit a brick when he got that one. My apologies for the rude vernacular, but Delano hates our clan. He has gone out of his way to make us look bad in certain situations. The fact that his clan owes you a minor boon must be sticking in his craw.
Well, perhaps. We will have to see, won't we? Or perhaps remind him of his job, if that is required.
Mm. Let me know if you have any issues in that regards, because that is my job, and I do enjoy doing my job.
Oh, I will make a very good note of it if it is. If there is any irregularities I come upon.
You hear from behind you, you hear the sound of heavy nostrils breathing in.
Are you expecting company?
Oh no, that's just Queenie. She's just sniffing you. If you look behind you, there's a 36-foot crocodile just right near you sniffing.
Oh. Oh, well, hello, Queenie. You can see he just tentatively just tips a step away. Just
Don't worry, Queenie is perfectly trained. She's one of my children.
oh,
Aren't you, Queenie? He will grab the satchel off his back and he will pull out a 5-pound ham. And he will throw it at Queenie, and Queenie will catch it and just alligator chomp it. Queenie
charming,
likes.
charming. I
Uh,
mean,
I bring Queenie with me pretty much everywhere, but I tend to leave King down in the lower levels of the Warrens or out on patrol. King's only nice to my clan, and he does tend to snap at them a couple of times. So with you being new blood until Queenie can vouch for you to King, I'd rather you meet Queenie for now.
duly noted.
You'll notice the one thing you'll notice: King and Queen are very different, in that King is an alligator and male alligator, and Queenie is a female crocodile.
Hmm.
I'm trying to reconnect the divergent genetic pathways, as it were.
Quite into your work, it seems.
Well, I have been. Before I was embraced, I was a zookeeper studying animal biology, anatomy, that sort of thing, and I've grown into it ever since. I have my doctorates in zoology, biology, genetics. Working on I'm working on a major in anthropology, and I'm working on another doctorate in anthropology, and I'm currently working on finishing my master's in psychology. I put it off for a long time because my sire was a behavioral psychologist, which is one of the reasons why I was embraced, in fact. But I've since learned to not hold that against him anymore. After all, he's been dead for 50, 40 years.
Well, you
Time
have my
sure flies.
condolences.
Oh, well, he's been avenged multiple times. He was killed when the Sabbat came to New York for the first time.
Ah, I see. Regardless, it is tragic when one close to one is lost.
Yes, fortunately, though, we have had many opportunities to grow, to learn, to adapt, and to overcome.
That we have.
So, have you had any experience with the Sabbat? I'm guessing in Vienna, not that much, unless you tended to travel into Romania, which
Oh, I've
would
never
never be
traveled to
recommended.
Romania, but I have traveled and met my share, met my share of that uncultured mass of pleb.
Yeah.
I am going to say I have seen my share.
Yes. There was a time when we could work with our brethren on the other side. Of course, we keep it within the clan, everything like that stays within the clan. But, they would let us know when there were raids going to happen so we could, make sure we weren't there, you know. But in the past 20, 30 years, they've just been getting savage. They've been doing some really bad stuff.
Wars tend to do that to people.
It's more than that. It really is. They've become fanatical. And then there's this issue in Spain where the Sabbat have now attacked a major Toreador stronghold.
So we will perhaps get refugees.
Perhaps. The funny thing is we thought they were coming here to attack us and they went right to Spain. It's just really weird like that.
But a good diversion, nonetheless.
It all depends, really, what happens from there. And then there's this thing with this infernalist, this red lister. Oh God, he has managed to make everything his advantage. And that Toreador, that I burned her name from my brain ever since. To think that she would save the world and think it not an act of pride.
What is her name? What is the person's name?
My brain's frying out. Give me one moment. Charlotte Monroe, member of Clan Toreador.
I've met her. She's partly the reason I got that minor boon.
What did she do? Do I need to have a talk with Fleur?
Oh, I believe it's been settled that, well, I was perusing a particular jewelry shop run by a very eccentric storekeeper.
Mr. Gold, I've heard about him.
Yes, weird antiquities. Apparently a hotspot for more than our kind. Anyways, Mr. Laveau, I believe, of Clan de Sombra, apparently run away from the spot.
Ambrose, yes.
Ambrose Laveau, yes, indeed. Miss Fleur and Charlotte was there, and they discussed something about some. What was it? I'm not quite sure I got the colloquialisms, the metaphors, but apparently it was a love, the ability to love, or a love potion, something, has been sold to this person and has been sold off. And they wanted to know, and there was some sort of deal taking place. And apparently the seneschal himself owed quite a bit to the storekeeper for reasons.
There was this big auction. People wagered a lot of stuff, and it wasn't money. I will just say that much. This guy does not deal in money.
Favors.
And favors are a dangerous thing.
Well, fairly beneficial. He agreed with with the seneschal to wipe half of the debt he had with him for me giving a concert, or a performance, rather. I agreed. Well, the selling of this love potion, or abilities of love, or whatever it was, hit a snag. Apparently, there was hostility. They went outside. There was a bit of a scuffle. Not really a scuffle, but simply bickering back and forth, and use of disciplines on Mr. Laveau, Amboise, and a forceful blood bonding of the poor man.
Who did this? The seneschal or Miss Monroe?
Charlotte herself. The only
That's
problem was, this is apparently, I was not under the, well, I'd only been here for 3 nights, so all of the territories were perhaps not fresh in mind. But apparently, well, luckily I didn't breach anything, but we were in someone else's domain at this time. Care to guess who?
If I had to make a guess, I would probably say the prince's domain.
Worse.
Worse?
Clan Giovanni.
Oh, Florin and Ambrogino. Which one of them showed up to kick ass?
I believe his name was Florin Giovanni. Yes, that was the Don himself.
Yes, I met him once, and he put me at a state of unease. Usually I'm the one doing that.
I will not regale you with the whole story, but short thing was, he said, you've broken into my domain, put on the whole Italian mobster facade. I mean, really unbecoming, but hey, that's neither here nor there. Anyways, he told them that the seneschal owed him a minor boon, the primogen a major boon, and Charlotte a blood boon. There was quarrel and bickering, and this was a problem. And, well, I, in my best Italian, asked for a moment. He was intrigued, and I told him my profession and that I was joyous to be able to speak with him, albeit I would have preferred by the circumstances. And one thing led to the other, and I agreed to do a performance with Fleur, who is apparently a skilled singer herself. Regardless, we are to perform a duet for him and some of the top brass of this city's social circles, apparently. Well, with these 2 performances I now have to do, both for Toreador, and for a significant reduction in the severity of the boons they now owed to Giovanni, I simply required a major boon from the clan, seeing as, well, helped two fairly high-ranking officials. Out of my own volition.
3 days in the city, you're already making a name for yourself. I applaud you.
You can see that he kind of just adjusts his shirt a little bit. You can tell that feels good for him. He's just, well, I do my best.
For the longest time, I was the face of Clan Nosferatu in the city. I was the one that was meeting people, shaking hands. I'd even let people borrow some of my treatises, some of my published works. But ever since that night at the Elysium, I've been off.
That night at the Elysium?
Ishar showed up, opened a portal to the domain of his infernal benefactors, I was caught in it for 30 seconds. The memories of that sometimes will leak out, but have primarily been snapped into my subconscious. And I thought I'd gotten a hold on them. I thought I was working on a benefit for the zoo with Dr. Hannah Green, a member of Dr. Katrina Green, a member of Clan Toreador. And then this thing with the final seal being broken, Charlotte basically thinking that she knew best on how to save the world, and my nightmares have gotten worse again. And now in 2 days, the world may or may not end. And I've had Mistina running through my brain trying to get any useful information out of it from those 30 seconds that I was, the best way I can describe it is outside. And apparently it's all garbled, but there's a plan. From what I understand, there are higher ranking mages in the city, ones that wield real magic, not what they claim the Tremere are bastardizing. They have their issues. I don't get involved in it. It's a clan versus entire group people sort of thing. And all I can do is sit back and wait and hope that I don't end up there again, or that this world doesn't turn into something so much worse.
Well, then the question is, do you intend for some of us to be on the front line in this, well, resolution, hopefully? Stopping the end of the world? You seem to be personally invested.
I will ask no one to risk themselves in this manner. If you wish to do it, it is your volunteer to do it. I would recommend that if you do plan on going, that you speak with Seneschal Beaumont. There's not been a sheriff appointed yet, and I swear if Charlotte gets made sheriff, I will basically renounce my position as primogen and walk into the sea. But
well,
who knows?
Well,
my question to you is that do you think that you can be beneficial on the front line?
Well, not more than quite a few others in this city, I would assume. But one slightly capable person able to do something might be the difference between the world ending and the world not ending. So, well, in my mind, why wait? In my mind, it should be a case of trying now when we have the chance to save it, instead of waiting and seeing if it goes wrong. But I might be a little bit rambunctious when it comes to such things. If there is a true course, I, might be a little bit more spirited.
Well, I will tell you this much. Everything that could go wrong up until the moment has gone wrong.
And in no part due to Charlotte, I assume?
It was the last seal. It was inside a Sabbat archbishop. It was the seal of pride. Only someone who was selfless, only someone who could do it without a hint of pride in their soul could kill the archbishop and undo the magic.
Well, that sounds absolutely reckless on her part.
She thought that if she did it to save the world, then that would be selfless, but it wasn't. There's only two ways that it could have gone down. I
You know
realize
what
it
that
now.
sounds like?
I wrecked my brain trying to figure out how it could go down. The first, the seneschal had been placed under a compulsion, use of mind manipulation to bring the archbishop's head to Mithras. If he had done that, it would have been selfless because he was ordered to.
Hmm. Do you know
Then
what
there's
such
the
an
other one.
action, the
Pardon?
actions of Charlotte sounds like?
Prideful?
Yes, and a perfect representation of an undisciplined toreador.
Mm-hmm. Well, you would have thought that my second thought would have been hilarious then, and probably thought me undisciplined. If that didn't work, I would have staked the archbishop, hidden him from view from everybody, because my command of obfuscate is that formidable. And I would have taken him somewhere, and I would have sat with him until the sun rose. And I
That would
would
have
have let
been
the sun
my
take.
idea as well, honestly.
After all, the sun has no pride. It is merely a giant ball of combustible gas in the center of our solar system, whose rays are undoubtedly fatal to us thanks to the curse placed upon him all that time ago.
That would have been a solution.
I probably would have done it without hesitation, because at least then I would have been free. I wouldn't be tormented by these shadows anymore.
Hmm. Is there anything I can do to alleviate this, or at least work on it?
Nothing, really. This is something that I'll have to live with for probably the rest of my own life. But you know what? If I live long enough to see Ashar not only dead, but his soul ripped to cinders, it will be worth it.
Hmm.
I'm sorry, I've been droning on and on about this. My thoughts on members of our clan going into this fight is this: if you think that you can be an asset, then go.
I don't know how much use obfuscate will be, but perhaps.
He's he is Clan Tremere, so you know, and
Hmm.
he is particularly powerful. Um, you know how gargoyles are made?
I've heard rumors, but
They're true, and he's the one who created the power to do that.
that puts a damper on my immediate plans to head into the breach.
From what I've been told, it is a fairly elaborate ritual, so it's not something he can do at a whim. However, if he was able to hunt down our kind for use in that particular ability, he might be able to see through even my obfuscate. And I don't know about you, but I can actually hide myself from electronic devices.
Hmm. Well, I don't think everyone will be taking the fight directly to Aisha. Some of us will simply be, well, in the fight. Perhaps I shall be there and lend whatever assistance unseen. Perhaps that is our best choice.
Honestly, it could be as simple as running blood to the people that are fighting him head on. Just don't
Exactly.
die. We've
Carry
lost.
those torport away.
Can you cloak others?
Oh yes.
Good. Just don't die. We've lost too many members of our family lately.
Oh, I don't intend to.
Good. I think that's enough for tonight. I
By the way, I am preparing to claim domain on the waterfront. Well, not the waterfront, but it's called the Opera Company and the surrounding area.
put together a proposition on how best that you can protect that domain, and then asks Seneschal Beaumont to speak with Prince Hennessy. I would say just ask him directly when he's home, but we have to go through certain channels.
Well, the prince was briefly in Elysium not too long ago, and he told me that I was free to claim domain. So,
Excellent. Make
the
sure that you record it
two of
with
us
the
have
heartbeat then.
actually met before. Just
Oh, sorry,
in,
what?
me and the prince have met before.
Excellent. That's good. Well, then, if you're make sure that the domain that you claim is known, that's all I can say. My domain is the zoo, so
No, for obvious reasons.
most people don't like to eat where they work, but I have to. I'm there quite a lot, so it
He
comes in
puts up
handy.
his hands, and you'll just say, "You are among family. There is no judgment, only understanding."
The same.
He just nods his head.
Well, until we see each other again, I do have a part of the sunken warrens that I'm building a grotto at. Well, I've built a grotto. I'm expanding it. I have all sorts of animals down there. I don't know if you particularly work with animals, but
No, not particularly. No, I
my
I just most of the time I must say that most other members of our clan have cornered that particular niche quite well.
yeah, I've probably done that as well. I've been the kennel master in most domains that I've lived in.
Hmm.
And I'll tell you this. I was sired because I loved all living things, and my sire wanted to see what would happen if that was taken away.
Well, such a strange family we have.
Indeed. Well, have you been able to find suitable quarters, or are you living above ground?
Oh, I'm living down here. He will give
Excellent.
a general direction as to where he's set up. I will be moving above ground in the foreseeable future, but well. Oh, contact information. He picks up a card. It just says it's just TW. That's the only thing, and then there's a phone number. It's a
Excellent.
really fine business card. He just hands it to you.
You'll take it and you'll look at it. Oh, do you have any out of character? He's going to use your phone number to connect you to the Nosferatu chat. So,
Hmm.
so I'll take
Ah,
care of. I'll out of character. I'll take care of that while we're working on this.
very well.
We all like to communicate through electronic means together as much as possible.
Quite.
I'm sure you understand.
Yes, yes, of course. Just don't be too alarmed if my responses are not as fast as some of the younger members of our clan.
That's perfectly fine. I mean, I
Good.
still take a little bit of time to work it too, so.
Perfect, perfect. Well, Primogen, it's been a very good pleasure. And he will just bow and tip his hat.
Michael will bow his head as well. Welcome to the city, Theodore. I think you're going to do very well here.
Thank you, and until we meet again. And he will probably head up the stairs again, or yeah, he'll begin to climb. And
As you're heading out, are you heading out through a tunnel?
yeah.
You'll see a rather large wolf come running past you towards the cistern.
He will stop himself just before he tips his hat at it.
The wolf will look back at you and will give a nod of the head, and we'll continue onward.
Well, that's something you don't see every day. And
Out of character, it's just an idea of how well Michael has trained these animals.
all right. With that, I believe the scene will come to a close. Thank you very much, players, for playing, and watchers for watching. Good night.